So the recipe that I'm talking about is called Mother's Waffles. It's a recipe that I got from my mom, but it was originally created by my great 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 grandmother when she owned a restaurant in Buffalo, New York, which is where our family's from. And it was her waffle recipe for a restaurant. So when I was a little kid, my mom would make waffles whenever we had breakfast for dinner, which was pretty much whenever she didn't really feel like cooking real food, or if my dad was really craving breakfast food, or if me or my sister had kind of a bad day, or just it was a birthday or something like that. A special occasion of some kind, we would have breakfast for dinner, and my mom would always, without fail, make waffles. And from that recipe, it's been modified a lot over the years because the original recipe is my great 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 grandmother just wrote a paragraph in cursive, and it just says Mother's Waffles, and then it kind of lists out all the ingredients and then says stir them together, and that's it. There's no cooking time or order of adding the ingredients other than to add the butter at the end. It's like not super clear, which I'm kind of impressed by because when she was making these waffles, there weren't exactly timers on waffle irons, and she knew exactly how to do it. But that's all we have. So my mom over the years has kind of added on a separate piece of paper, has added her own notes about exactly how to make them our style. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, so my mom was telling me about my great 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 grandmother, who she never got to meet, but my grandmother did meet her in her life. Apparently, my grandmother was a waitress at the restaurant where they served these waffles when she was 12 years old, which is crazy to think about. But so that's kind of the family lore behind the recipe. Personally, I'm vegan, so I don't use the waffle recipe the same way that a lot of my family does. My parents are vegan now too, though, so we've modified it a lot, even in recent years, to include almond milk instead of regular milk, vegan butter or margarine instead of butter, and then we use aquafaba, which is the liquid from a can of beans, usually chickpeas, instead of eggs. So that's kind of how I've modified into my personal food beliefs and my dietary, self imposed dietary restrictions. But yeah, it's a cool family recipe. And yeah,